Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here doing my unboxing for the Lootcrate DX. It's all backwards, I got it all messed up. So the Lootcrate DX for October, it was horror themed, of course, like the normal Lootcrate. I just did an unboxing of that, so you guys can check out the link in the description if you want to see me do that unboxing. As always, super nervous, because it's an extra like 45 bucks, so I'm hoping it works out. I did like open up the lid because they used to do it. Apparently they just stopped because it was a waste of money for them. They started initially, like when I got my first DX crate, I think it was maybe the third crate they'd ever done. I believe this is the fifth one now. It was kind of funny. It was like, or no, this might be the sixth if that was the third. So this would be the sixth one then. So in that one, they used to do where it's like, oh, everything comes, you know, you open up the box and it would have like an orange wrapper and a little sticker on it that would say like Lootcrate DX because it was like super fancy and stuff. It would almost be like you're opening up a shoebox. And I was like, you know, they were like, let's save our 2 cents and not do that anymore. So it's just like the other Loot Crates where you open it and you see exactly what you get. So I had to make sure that I didn't do that because when I did it before, I was like, oh crap, I almost saw all the items and I had to shut it really fast so I know now to like kind of flip it backwards because I don't like to see anything that's in there. So, you know what? They have clothing, so I'm going to go clothing first. It seems like a long sleeve shirt. Ooh, it's oh, this is pretty cool. It's Scream as the painting, which I'm pretty sure is just known as Scream. So that's pretty awesome. I like this. Perfect for me with this being a thick shirt because I live in Michigan. And for those of you who don't know, we get cold winters, and it's fall right now, and this, I'm going to be wearing the crap out of this until I get like a typical day job, and then it's like, you know, you can't come in here with a freaking Scream shirt. But I like this. It feels very thick, which is probably the best thing about it because it's clearly, you know, a long sleeve shirt. It's basically, yeah, it's like it's a sweatshirt pretty much. So I love this. I also like the design. It's very simple, just black and white. You know, it doesn't need the color and everything, but it's Scream. It's simple. It's actually a shirt that I really like. I like the picture. I like the style of it with it being, you know, being long sleeve and stuff like that. So this is pretty cool. So it's 50% cotton, 50% polyester. That's pretty sweet. So we got Ghostface in the picture Scream. So I like this. This is definitely a great start because last month I wasn't a big fan of the shirt that was in it because I just felt like it didn't fit to anything. But that I really love. So I'm happy with the clothing because the first time I got a DX crate, there wasn't even clothing in it, and I was really disappointed because it had so many franchises that I loved, and I was like, oh, there's not even clothing from any of these great franchises. Ooh, this is heavy. I'm gonna save that. That might be my favorite item. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's super heavy, so I want to save it. And I think I might know. Oh, okay. I got some guesses on that, but you know, I'll save them. So we have The Thing, which we have Botton's Monster. It says, I know I'm human, and if you were all these things, then you'd just attack me right now. So some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation. It'll fight it if it has to. It'll fight if it has to, but it's vulnerable out in the open. If it takes us over, then it has no more enemies. Nobody left to kill. Nobody left to kill it, and then it's won. John Carpenter's The Thing. This is a really great movie if you've never seen The Thing. And then I heard that the prequel was actually pretty good too. It's called Just Thing, and that came out, I want to say it was like, I could be way off because I never actually saw it, so I don't really know. But I think it was only like 3 years ago. It may have been like 4 years ago or something. But I heard that that was actually not really bad. So I might eventually have to check that out. But John Carpenter's The Thing is actually a really good movie if you haven't seen it. And I'm trying, they always got the tiniest bit of, I'm terrible with tape for any of you who may not have seen my other videos. The worst when it comes to tape, and because I'm not at home, I don't have like my little kunai to cut off this tape because that's what I started doing. So sadly I have to use my stupid fingernails to get all this tape off. But I like this little model that they have. It's pretty grotesque. It fits The Thing because The Thing is like, it's one of the coolest movies ever as far as some of like the prosthetics, and it gets insane. Like just look up The Thing and just look up like gross scenes from The Thing, and you'll see some insane stuff if you've never seen anything from that film. It's it's like a masterpiece in practical effects. It's insane what they do in that movie. But what we have here is basically two faces stretched out. I'm trying to get it all out of the plastic so you can see it without all the reflections and everything like that. I got this thing tighten it. So this is I noticed on the box it's by Chronicle Collectibles. They've done some stuff for Lootcrate before, because in the first crate I got, they did Decker's car from Blade Runner. So they've done some stuff with them. Excuse me, but this I like. This is pretty cool. So it's got a nice little crazy weird design to it. And then look, oh no, that's just a part of, oh, it's just how it's put together. It looked like there was something like you could turn it, but that's just how they sealed the two halves together. But this is pretty cool. It's just weird, and it fits perfectly. It's just two faces, one being like just torn apart, and the other's kind of also being torn apart. I guess they're both not really doing great here, but I like this. This is pretty cool. The only thing that could have been even crazier is if they did the scene with the stomach, but I don't know how you do that in little in statue form. That's probably like my favorite scene as far as with it being practical effects. This is one of the craziest things I've ever seen in a movie. It's just, you just got to see that scene if you don't know what I'm talking about. But I do like that. That might have to go back home because my girlfriend's not big on weird, creepy looking stuff, and it might freak her out. Even though it's so tiny, I could probably get it and just hide it somewhere random that, where it's like she'll just walk past it. But that definitely, she'll never let that be like in the living room, because like that's effed up to her. Let's see what else. Oh, I got a little Ash vs. Evil Dead. Yes. So this was the franchise that really made me get this, and it was Ash. Yeah, it was Evil Dead. I freaking love Evil Dead. I am a huge fan of it. Oh my god. It moves, or it makes noises, or something like that. Alright, so it's a chainsaw power bank. Okay, what does it say? Oh, it just has a quote from Ash. It says, "What, you never saw a guy with a chainsaw hand before?" So, oh man. I'm trying to see what this is going to say. It says, I love this. Alright, so it has the normal info on it. It's like, alright, micro USB charging cable included, not a toy, made in China, blood spatter may vary. So I find that funny, but that might be an actual, like, realistic thing. Like, the pattern of the blood splatter technically may vary. It may not look exactly like the picture, but that's a funny thing to have on there. So this is freaking awesome. Only way it could be cooler if it was like a life-size version and I could just put this on my freaking hand right now. That would be beautiful, but maybe someday when I'm super duper rich, I'll have somebody make that for me. But this is really cool, and I have to find, dang, I wish well, obviously that's a part of the unboxing. I didn't know this was going to be in here, but I definitely want to hear it make some noise. It's a tiny little cord too. This is like straight to the laptop. So let's see what we got. It doesn't really show much on here. It's just, yeah, it's, oh, has a little quote on the bottom that says, "Yo, Granny, hope you took your Geritol." I don't even know how to say that, because it's time to dance. I don't even know what that reference means, but I'm sure I laughed at that when I was watching it, because Ash vs. Evil Dead is amazing. If you've never seen this, if you've never seen Evil Dead, you are sorely missing out. So I'm so sorry for you, but you gotta watch Ash vs. Evil Dead. First you have to watch the movies, Evil Dead 1 and 2, and then Army of Darkness, and then go to Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's in its second season, so fans like myself, we are loving it. It is definitely awesome. And you know what? This is actually kind of cool. So I like how they have this. So you can have it where it's either USB based, or you can do the other side. Like both of these ends, I can do it. Both ends of this go into this, so you can do it either way. And I think that's actually really cool. You don't see that too often, where it's like, all right, you have your option. If you have like a double-sided USB thing, you can do it that way. Or if you prefer, you can do it the other way, USB style. So that's pretty cool. And this is awesome. Chainsaw power bank. That's just really cool. So I like this. I'm finding myself somewhat confused now as to whether or not, because at first when I read it, I thought it was an actual bank, but unless there's something that I'm missing on this, it's not an actual bank. It's more of an actual. It's more like it's a USB powered bank is what it means. So I'm assuming that that's what it is. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. But nothing on here actually. Well, yeah, I don't think that's really supposed to bend or do anything like that. But if anything happens with this, then I will add that in the annotations. But I'd have to literally run all the way downstairs and run all the way back up just to have a little charger on it. So, you know, that's exactly what I'm going to do because I need to find out. This is just going to happen because I don't edit these videos. That would just, I might edit this. I may or may not. I probably won't. So, I'm actually going to go ahead. Ooh, there's a couple more things in here. So before I do that, I'm assuming this is, oh, well that kind of tells you right on there. What is this from? I'm going to assume that this is, it says Coffee Dweller zombie mug. I'm going to assume this is Walking Dead style, but I don't know exactly what I feel like it's referencing the Well Walker or something from The Walking Dead, like season 2. But yeah, it somewhat is a little bit. This is huge. This is actually really big. So of course it is The Walking Dead. You know, we got our walkers slash zombies, however you prefer. So that's pretty nice. And then get that out of there. On the inside here, we got a little guy in there, all covered in red. So that's pretty cool. This says do not microwave right on the bottom, so I have to make sure. Hand wash only, and do not soak. This thing has some very serious rules. I feel like I could have broken it right there with all those little rules on the bottom. But this is nice. I like this. That's interesting. You drink it and it, you know, as you of course drinking it, you see more and more of the zombies. So that's pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty sweet. So that's cool. Walking Dead. Got a Walking Dead mug. I do love The Walking Dead. I watched the show when it started, and that actually got me into the comics. So I'm like actually a really big fan now. I'm like a double-sided fan because I like the show, and then the show got me into the original source material. So I like both now. What have we here? What the heck is this? So we have Full Moon Presents Delirium, 12th terrifying issue. Inside the magenta mind of Nicholas Winding. I don't know that guy's name. Winding Refn. So this is cool. This is like it's a horror magazine. It's just a horror magazine where it talks about, you know, classic horror stuff, current horror stuff. Because everything, for those of you who might not know this, everything has a comic book or has a magazine to it. If it's a genre or something, there's something for it. And this might not specifically be for horror. Yeah, it says cult, horror, sci-fi, fantasy, and exploitation. So it's more of the out there type of movies. It's not specifically horror, but it has a lot of these crazy movies I've never heard of before, which have some of the craziest covers. If you want to check some of these out. So there's that. And then this says rediscover the movies that freaked you out as a kid. And if you were a kid in the 50s, then these are the movies for you, because I've never even heard of these before. Let's see. So I'm trying to see. There's a movie called Zombie. I think I have heard of that one. Puppet Master. I know Puppet Master for sure. Yeah, everything else is just like insanely old, which... Sorry to offend you if you know these movies. These could just be cult movies. You know, that's part of the comic. These could just be movies from the 80s or the 70s and 80s that just weren't popular. Because there are, as some of you might know, you go online or you go to stores and sometimes you'll see the craziest horror movies. Netflix is a phenomenal example. You will see names that bewilder the mind, and there'll be horror movies and stuff. And they always have the craziest names too, which is probably my favorite thing about going through them. Is like, I've never heard of this, never heard of that. Craziest name ever. This also has tons of other stuff. Yeah, here's the exploitation side of it. They've got a little reference to Fritz the Cat. They've got and it's kind of like animated nudity in this scene. So they have like Archer in here. I'm not sure what anime that's from, but that is effing hilarious. This girl's wearing like, it's like her, it's basically she's wearing a top and there are just hands on it that cover her boobs, and they only cover like 20% of her boobs because of course it's anime, so they're ginormous. But this is funny. I like this. This is pretty cool. Oh, horror alligator. That's pretty nice. That instantly makes me think of Resident Evil 2 though. Alright, so there's something else in here as well, and I think it might just be, yeah. So we have the print for this one. This is awesome. This is my favorite print so far, and it's just Evil Dead 2. So there we go. We got Evil Dead 2 and Ash versus Evil Dead. So that's really cool. Normally I don't give a crap about the prints, but I do love Evil Dead 2 like crazy. So I'm going to make sure I take care of this. I wish that they would bring back the actual thick cardboard, because now they have like this flimsy cardboard. And I feel like they should really be bringing, if they're going to do prints, we need more than just this really thin piece of cardboard. I feel like we need the thicker piece that they have, like when they give us comics and stuff in the normal Loot Crate. That's what we need. And we need that type of stuff, and not just this really thin layer of it. So that sucks, but I'll find a place to keep this safe, because I actually like Evil Dead 2, so that's actually really cool. Normally, like I said, I don't care about the prints, and it's just like, it's still technically just like the meh item, because it's like you have all this crazy stuff and then it's like, oh, a really thin print. It's not even a big print either. It's like these medium-sized prints. But because I love this movie so much, it's actually way different compared to the other ones where it was just like, whatever, it's just a stupid print. So I actually like that. This is a nice one. I am not disappointed in this at all. I actually think this shirt is really great. This actually might be my favorite item so far. The Thing statue I think is pretty cool. The mug is definitely good. And based on what I'm looking at, specifically with this and the Thing, I think I probably got my money's worth, because this, I would assume, especially with it being a thicker, with it being sweatshirt style, this in itself would have to be like $30. I would see it, in stores, I would probably prefer to pay 20, but I would most likely see this for like $30. But even if this was like $20 and this was only like, I mean, heck, if this was only like $10, that's just 30 right there. And then you have, this right here, which I'm still not 100% sure. I won't go downstairs. You'll just have to find someone else who's gonna edit, because I just don't have time to actually do edits for my videos. But this I would assume is either just a flat out USB. I'm so curious, and I really do want to have it on camera, but like I said, I'd have to seriously go all the way downstairs. It would take like over a minute, or at least 30 seconds, I don't know, but I think this one was worth it. I think this was a pretty good crate. It's not bad at all. I'm thoroughly satisfied with this. I got my 2 Evil Dead items, so I got my little print. I got a decent sized, little chainsaw. It would be cool if this could go on my finger, like if this part twisted off, because it feels like it does, but it doesn't, like, actually pull off. So I don't want to test it, because I might just be breaking it, especially considering it, it has plugs in it. So I'm assuming that's not supposed to come off. But I do like this for sure. So I have like a nice medium, sized chainsaw. I got my Evil Dead 2 print. I have an interesting, sort of. Oh, I got tape on it. Get that out of here. So I like this because I've never really had anything like this before, where you get sort of the cult magazines and stuff like that. Oh, and here's a little thing. It's very convenient that it just happens to be like right next to the poster, which is like the centerfold. It's loot box, or loot crate. So this is actually pretty cool, and it kind of just goes through the items and stuff like that. So that's cool. It shows all the it shows off all the pictures and things like that. So that's pretty cool. I actually like this a lot. I'm just kind of looking through all this, and there's a picture in here. I'm gonna have to look at some other people's videos, unless I'm missing something. Let's see. Okay. There's another item, because I was about to get real upset. So there's another item in here, and it's the pen. I forgot about the pen. and it is for Hellraiser, and specifically Hellraiser 3: Hell on Earth. So that's actually pretty cool. And there it is, Hellraiser. I thought this was a part of it, which would have been really, really cool, because it makes me not want to take the back off of it, because it fits Hellraiser. But that's cool. It's just, kind of like, well, for those of you who didn't see the normal Loot Crate, they basically did the same thing with that, where it's like, we have these different franchises, and then the other franchise that may not have gotten an item was on the pin. So it's still represented, it's still in there, classic in the horror genre, so that's pretty cool. I'm glad I looked at this. I'm like, uh-oh, I think I might be missing something here. So that's cool. And this, I actually want to show off before I end this video. It is the Thing, once again. So this I like. I've always enjoyed this picture. I've always thought this was a really cool... It's just an interesting image. It kind of... It gives that look of... the person in like a submarine outfit, or a diver's outfit, but that's obviously not what it represents. It represents like you don't know who it is. It's this creature that appears to be human, and it could have anyone's face. And I always thought that was just a really awesome thing. It's very simple, and it's just someone. I think the actual picture is like basically there's the creature standing in a doorway, and the light just shines from their face. And it's like that's such a simple concept, but it's a great still image. I think it's always been one of my favorites, where it's like that. It's such a simple idea, but it's just iconic as far as I'm concerned. It's iconic to a ton of people. It's The Thing. Like I said, if you haven't seen The Thing, it's awesome. Evil Dead is freaking amazing. Scream is good. I think a lot of people who might be watching this have seen Scream at this point, and Walking Dead, kind of the same thing. But The Thing, older Evil Dead, some people might be watching Ash vs. Evil Dead, but definitely cool, definitely cool. So let's see, whether you're battling deadites or just trying to figure out where to meet for dinner, keep your phone or other USB-powered devices going strong with this groovy 3000 mAh, I don't know what that means, power bank. Take this officially licensed replica of Ash's signature chainsaw with you, or display it proudly. Hell to the king, baby. Okay, now I know what this is, because now I know what a power bank is, because I never bought those, so I didn't know what they were actually called. So this, for anyone who might have been confused like I was, this is to charge your phone. So you can charge this up, like you plug it into the wall and you can charge it up, and then you can like carry it around with you. I don't think I'm ever going to do that with it having, a big effing chain on it, but that's what this is for. So when you're, out traveling or whatever, and it's like, oh crap, my phone's going to die, especially considering how big this thing is, this probably holds like, this could probably, if this is fully charged, I would assume it'll fully charge your phone. Probably 2 times with it being so big like this. But now I understand what it is, because I was so confused when it said power bank. I was thinking it meant like electronic bank or something like that, and then I'm like, well, does it mean it's a flash drive? Is that what it means by power bank? So I was admittedly super confused by what the heck it did. So now I understand it, and it doesn't seem like it has any components that move even when it's being charged. But that'd be cool if it did. If it just like vibrated, that would take up a lot. Kind of take out some of the usefulness of it being a power bank for your phone, but still really awesome. And I would still be really cool if you could undo